We return to Bushy Park, Barbados, where competitors are preparing for round 2 of the third season of the Suzuki Challenge series. They will race on the familiar 2.01 kilometre international circuit, but frequent showers are forecast, which will make it a challenging day for all. 3 drivers shared the race wins in the opening round of the SR3 Cup, but 2 further podium finishes give Suleiman Issouf a 15-point advantage over the other 2, brothers Stuart and Mark Maloney. While Josh Reed has the same 58 points from identical results to Issouf, his hold on the Swift Cup standings is far less secure, leading former champions Ryan Perot and Ryan Wood by just 3 and 8 points respectively. Welcome back. In tricky conditions, Barry Gale claimed his first Swift Cup pole position by almost half a second from points leader Josh Reed in the combined 20-minute practice and qualifying session. Justin Campbell and Ryan Wood start on row 2, ahead of Trinidad and Tobago's Ryan Perot, Kenrick Husbands and Martinique's Pascal Calvel.
Barry Gale pulls away from pole position and into the lead, down into the ICBLWs for the first time, chased by Reed. It's obviously still a little bit slippy there. We can see Justin Campbell's car, the rear of it, just trying to step out of line coming through the W's there, but it is Barry Gale who leads from Josh Reed, Justin Campbell, Ryan Wood as they go over the brow and towards the dipper. Is anybody going to take the joker on the opening lap? Yes, Justin Campbell, it's Perot and Pascal Calvel all take the joker on the first lap. So Barry Gale leads, Josh Reed is chasing, third is Woody, fourth is Justin Campbell. They go down through Shak, maintain the momentum through the right and left flick onto the pit straight and up towards the start-finish line for the first time, with Barry Gale with an advantage of 1.1 seconds over Josh Reed. Now Barry will be trying to build up enough of a gap to take his joker lap with impunity, but Josh Reed is certainly not going to allow that to happen easily. And of course Josh has got the multiple race winner and champion behind him, Ryan Wood, who dives on lap 2 onto his joker lap, as does Snapper. So just 2 left to take that joker lap. Oh dear, and Woody arrives back right alongside Justin Campbell. Josh Reed is now coming under increasing pressure from Ryan Wood, who sets the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:21.916 on that fourth lap, to move him to within 2/10. Or it's not into within 2/10, he's got past him down into the ICBLW, so he's now ahead of Josh Reed, which gives Josh even more annoying things to think about. I think Barry Gale, who had 2.502 seconds of an advantage at the end of that fourth lap, would be well advised possibly to go and take his joker now, but he's not going to. Josh has got back ahead of Woody. Barry Gale turns through. Is he going to be able to come out in front of Josh Reed? He's over the bridge. And yes, Barry Gale has come out ahead of Josh Reed. And this time Josh takes it on this 7th lap. Is he going to be able to come back ahead of Woody? Yes, he does. Josh Reed has managed to make that work, and Justin Campbell joins in the party as well, squeezes past Ryan Wood at the Seasash hairpin, and so Josh Reed managed amazingly, I have to say, to make that manoeuvre work. On to the final lap goes Barry Gale, leading this opening Swift Cup race of the day by 2.2 seconds. Justin Campbell is putting all of his early lessons in the Swift Cup to very good use. He's nosing the Team Rockhard cement car alongside as they go down towards the Dipper and the Bullet. He gets the front wheels alongside the rear wheels of Woody's car, but he can't quite carry the momentum through because he's on that tighter line and you don't have the same freedom when you're on the inside. Barry Gale is about to win his 4th Suzuki Challenge Series Swift Cup race by a margin of 1.95 seconds, with Woody coming home just 7/10 ahead in 3rd place behind Josh Reed.
In fact, it was only Barry Gale's 2nd Swift Cup win, not his 4th, but no less an achievement for that. And he moves up to 2nd in the standings between Reed and Woody, while Perot slips to 4th.
It looked dry when we went on the track, or dry-ish, but it was a lot more slippery than you would have thought. I was watching Josh behind me, and I could see that I was pulling away from him, and then I saw that he had a fight going on. I couldn't tell who it was. I thought it might have been Woody, and I figured if the two of them were jostling for position, it would slow him down a little bit, so I would take Joker then. And I guess if I had taken it earlier, I might have been in trouble. But yeah, I had just enough to get in front of him. Yeah, it was good.
Points leader Sol Issouf and Stuart Maloney traded pole position times in the combined practice and qualifying session, but it was Maloney at the top when it counted, albeit around 7 seconds off the pace of a dry track. David SIMPSON, who had missed the opening round, and Sean Maloney start on row 2, ahead of Mark Maloney and Ryan Gonzalez from St Vincent and the Grenadines.
Away they go, and they set off down towards the W's for the first time in a 10-lap race. David SIMPSON already alongside Sol Issouf as they go down into the W's and trying to maintain a position alongside him as they go over Millbrow. Rooster tails of spray coming up from the rear wheels of the Suzuki-powered Radical SR3s. Sol Issouf is determined that Stuart Maloney should not make good his escape. Pretty much as one, the 6 of them as they come through the Banksesses onto the Seasash hairpin, out of the Cockspur Cyclone and onto the Clubhouse straight. Stuart Maloney doing his level best to keep his head down. 3rd consecutive fastest lap for Sol Issouf brings him another few hundredths closer in terms of what it says on our screen. The gap closes up under braking for the Dipper once again. Sol will be biding his time. He's learnt a great deal about racecraft over the last 18 months or so, whereas the likes of Stuart have been racing for many years. Stuart, indeed, a former Caribbean motor racing champion back in the days when he raced his initial Lancer Evo 6. Down towards the kink and the hammer they go once again through that famous right-hand corner from the Bushy Park of the 1970s. Stuart Maloney, whose pace has backed off a little bit, and although Sol Issouf was a little quicker, the gap still is a significant one. So the dry line, there are parts of the circuit where the circuit is dry pretty much the full width. But there are other areas where there is still just a little standing water, and I fear perhaps more showers to come during the afternoon. So final lap for Stuart Maloney, already the winner of 9 SR3 Cup races. He's about to bring that number to 10, and he will increase his number of fastest laps from 9 to 10 as well. Checkered flag then for Stuart Maloney, winning by a margin of 1.4 seconds.
So the day gets off to a good start for Stuart Maloney, who chops 7 points off Sol Issouf's lead with his 10th SR3 Cup win. David Simpson joins them on the podium in his first race for 5 months.
Conditions aren't too bad. They're wet, which it's nice to have it either wet or dry and not in between. So it was nice to know that the track was going to be fully set up for wet. Out front, it really wasn't too difficult for me because I didn't have the rooster tails off the car. For me, it went well, no complaints.
Just watch your brake lights and try to brake same thing as the driver in front, because sometimes it's so hard to see with all that water kicking up. Sometimes I have to move from behind the car to actually see. It's a lot more difficult than the dry conditions. I'm a lot more confident with the car in the dry conditions than in the wet conditions. But learning process, getting there.
I have been crazy, but that's just alright. Alright, my feelings I don't hide them from me. Not alright. Come and get it if you really want it. Come and get it if you really need it. Come and get it if you really want it. Come and get it if you really need it.
Welcome back to Bushy Park and round 2 of the Suzuki Challenge Series. The grid for Swift Cup Race 2 is based on qualifying times reversed, which places Martinique's Pascal Calvel on pole, with Ryan Perreault alongside on the front row. Kenrick Husbands and Ryan Wood sit on row 2. Justin Campbell, Josh Reed and Race 1 winner Barry Gale complete the field.
And they're away very quickly with the weather conditions here looking as though we might get rain in the middle of this race. Snapper Husbands right on the inside of Pascal Calvel, trying to challenge for the lead as they go down into the ICBLWs for the first time, but it doesn't work. That said, Pascal Calvel runs wide. Ryan Perreault is right in there with him as well, alongside Calvel as they go over Millbrow, but I doubt he's going to be able to drive all the way around the outside of him as they get down into the Dipper and the Bullet for the first time. Calvel looks as though he's going to try and hold on to the lead, but Perreault is maintaining his momentum and into the lead. Joker lap on this first lap. Snapper Husbands, Woody and Josh Reed, and all of them are going to come out behind the rest of the field, although having said that, Snapper's very nearly alongside Barry Gale as they get to where they just after they've rejoined and they get to the Seasouth Sherpin, but the manoeuvre didn't quite work. Woody battling it out now to try and stay ahead of the joking panel by getting alongside and past Snapper Husbands. Does he do it? Yes, he does. He's heading over the bridge. He'll be glancing over to the left to see what the guys over there are doing. He's maintained terrific momentum and he's come out ahead of Barry Gale. Now, if he can gather it all together and not make a huge mess of the much tighter, and he does get that right as well, because you're going into that right-hander at the Seasouth Sherpin much tighter when you've been over the bridge. He did manage to get that right. He is still ahead of Barry Gale, albeit we are talking about inches rather than fractions of a second. Well, and again, Wood is on the inside of the Seasouth Hairpin. He sort of vaguely pushes Josh Reed wide to the point at which Josh is ploughing along on the grass with no directional control, I don't think, at the front at all there. I think it's quite wet over there in that grass. He doesn't hit the barrier by the drag racing start strip, but he has lost a huge amount of ground to the rest of the field. Now, Barry Gale remembers on the final lap he needs to take his joker. How's the momentum going, B. Gale? It's going very well. He comes out ahead of Justin Campbell, and so he is still in the same second place he was, but Justin Campbell's going to try and do something about that over the remaining half lap or so of the 2.01 kilometres of Bushy Park. Perreault is comfortably where he likes to be. Barry Gale is now, I'm sure, checking his mirrors to see what Justin Campbell is about. And they get a little bit out of shape going through. There's clearly quite a serious lack of grip partway through the hammer there, but it is the checkered flag at the ready for Ryan Perreault, who wins by 9.984 of a second from Barry Gale, with Justin Campbell third, Pascal Calvel fourth, Ryan Wood is fifth, Kenrick Husbands is sixth, and Josh Reed comes through at the tail end of the field.
Perot's win promotes him to championship leader, just 3 points ahead of Gale, while Reed slips to third after his grassy moment midway through the race. 2017 newcomer Campbell equals his best result with third.
We were battling, we had some good racing going. He would pass me, I passed him back, and we had a little contact down here in the dipper, and then going through the S's, going onto the, coming out the straight. I duck on the inside of him, and I understeer onto him. He was understeering as well. 2 wheels went off the track onto the grass, and from there it was a good night nurse.
So not a good race for me, finished last, so I got to try and make that, not this last race.
I was able to get ahead of Pascal in the first corner, and in about 4 laps time I saw Bushy Park Swift. I say, wait, no, that's Barry. So I had to defend because he was coming.
I passed Josh on the first lap, and then people started to take jokers, and I just kind of inherited positions and kept going. Very, very good fun, good racing.
There has been no let-up in the weather, so grip will once again be at a premium. With qualifying times reversed, Ryan Gonzalez sits on pole for the second SR3 Cup race with Mark Maloney alongside. Sean Maloney and David Simpson are on row 2, ahead of points leader Sol Issouf and Stuart Maloney, who's already got 1 race win under his belt.
And they're underway. Very good start from Mark Maloney, who's leading as they go into the ICBLWs for the first time around the outside of Ryan Gonzalez. A neat and tidy move. Stuart Maloney is already there alongside Sol Issouf, the pair of them harassing his brother Sean, who dives alongside Ryan Gonzalez into the dipper as Mark Maloney spins off. Is he going to get stuck in that gravel trap, or can he keep the momentum going? Yes, he does keep the momentum going. He has rejoined, but the lead is no longer his. So he's now down at the tail end of the field. Ryan Gonzalez in the lead, being harassed first by Sol Issouf, then it's Sean Maloney, then it's Stuart Maloney, then David Simpson. They come out of the Cockspur Cyclone for the first time and on to the start line straight down towards the kink and the hammer. Ryan Gonzalez and Stuart Maloney is alongside and past brother Sean up into third place. Down into Shack they go. Out onto the pit straight and completing lap 1.4 of a second. Ryan Gonzalez leads Sol Issouf. Down into the W's they go. Stuart Maloney is right there as well. David Simpson having got up into fourth place. What happened to Sean Maloney? Did he pull off into the pit lane? I had glanced back to see what was happening on the monitor. So Sean Maloney must have pulled off into the pit lane because he did not come past the start-finish line at the end of that second lap. But up into the lead now, Sol Issouf has dealt with Ryan Gonzalez, who is now coming under some pressure from Stuart Maloney. Sol will be hoping to build a gap before Stuart can find his way past Ryan Gonzalez, who defends his position enthusiastically through the hammer, holds on to his second place. Down at Shack now, still Ryan Gonzalez is defending on to the pit straight. He's still ahead. Rooster tells the spray as they cross the start-finish line, but he's wide, and Stuart Maloney is on the inside. He's going to be through, but he runs a little bit wide, gives Ryan Gonzalez the chance of challenging back as they come up and over the hill. Gonzalez looks, he pulls out of the spray, tries to get alongside Stuart Maloney as they go down into the dipper, but it doesn't work. So Stuart Maloney now beginning to ease away. Only one of the two black cars is going back into the pit lane, and I was right, it is indeed David Simpson's, which has clearly got an issue. It was stuttering as it came past us here in race control. Sol Issouf's car, the red and white livery of the karting curbs. Stuart's car, the blue and yellow livery of the main track curbs. National colours, of course. Up towards the checkered flag goes Sol Isuf. Checkered flag is taken. He wins by a margin of 2.28 seconds, with Stuart Maloney taking the fastest lap on the final lap of the race.
Sol Isuf's victory returns his championship lead to 15 points over Stuart Maloney. These two very much on top of today's action. Ryan Gonzalez and Mark Maloney complete the finishes.
Stuck in a rut you can't give me. If you got a head, you should use it. Climb over the wall, break down all the doors when your future calls. Don't let nothing hold down, nothing hold down, down. Don't let nothing hold down.
Welcome back to the final segment of our coverage of round 2 of the Suzuki Challenge Series. The grid for race 3 is based on points scored earlier, which puts Barry Gale and Ryan Perot on the front row, Justin Campbell and Ryan Wood on row 2. Josh Reed, Pascal Calvel and Kenrick Husbands complete the lineup.
And as they set off very quickly indeed down towards the ICBLWs for the first time, Snapper Husbands already picks off Josh Reed and Pascal Calvel to move himself up to the tail of the leading group. A very sideways Justin Campbell manages to gather his Swift Sport together. Another grassy moment for Josh Reed as he heads uphill out of the W's, not to delay as much as the previous one did, however, in the earlier race. But they're all cleanly through, and it is on lap 1 Snapper who takes the Joker lap. And is he going to rejoin at the tail end of the field? Yes, he is. So we have a nose-to-tail train of 7 Suzuki Swift Sports, with a good battle developing for second place behind Barry Gale between Ryan Wood and Ryan Perot, into the kink and the hammer for the first time. Everyone cleanly through there, down towards Shack Shack. A challenge from Ryan Perot on Ryan Wood doesn't work. So at the end of the first of 8 laps, Barry Gale leads by 0.48 of a second. The fastest man on the opening lap is Ryan Wood. On lap 3, it is Woody and Pascal Calvel also taking their Joker this time round. Woody rejoins sort of in the middle, very nearly alongside Ryan Perot, who gets a little bit out of shape. Josh Reed looks as though he's going to benefit from this. Yes, he sort of does, but then there's contact between all 4 of those. Josh Reed's front left wheel is left hanging, and I think there's a problem for Woody as well, because he's fetched up against the tyre wall on the exit of the Cockspur Cyclone. And Woody is just rushing over to see whether Josh Reed is okay, I think, as well as getting into a position of safety behind the bushes there in the middle of the circuit. So on lap 4, it is BG who takes his Joker, rejoins easily in the lead. Justin Campbell also takes his Joker as well, with the caution lights on and yellow flag being displayed for the 2 cars that are positioned diagonally opposite one another either side of the circuit. So Barry Gale on his way towards the checkered flag, claiming his second race win of the day, with Ryan Perot coming home second.
So Barry Gale claims his second win of the day, while Ryan Perot and Pascal Calvel make it a podium of 3 nations. Kenrick Husbands and Justin Campbell are the only other finishers.
From what I saw, I think Justin hit Ryan. His car was under steering, and he was on the throttle, and he came right back across my bow, and we made contact, pulled my steering wheel out. I had no steering, and then off I went into the tires, and my race was over.
I had a perfect lineup on the inside. So I came up on the inside, getting ready to pass all 3 of the guys, and all of a sudden I saw Ryan Perot's car came perpendicular in front of mine, and then I slammed into him. Similarly, it ripped off the steering off the car. The car could have driven, but by law, the insurance policy requires me to stay there and they seen the accident. So I had to wait for my response team to come. They actually were very quick. I don't want to say they were quicker than the competition, but
My insurance company was there before yours.
I would have to beg to differ. I guess it's all part of it. I don't think there was any bad intentions there. Just that the guys came together and it didn't work out. So definitely hurt me my championship now, because I would have come away with minimal points today. So I would drop down the ladder, but there's still a couple of race meets left, so we'll still try at it.
With identical results, Stuart Maloney and Sol Issouf had both scored 43 points earlier on, but Maloney starts on pole for the third SR3 Cup race by virtue of a faster qualifying time. Ryan Gonzalez and Mark Maloney sit on row 2, with David Simpson and Sean Maloney at the back.
And they're off down towards the ICBLWs for the first time. Sean Maloney powering down the outside of the field, seeing how many places he can pick up from the back row of the grid there. He's already found his way past David Simpson and past Ryan Gonzalez. He's tucked right in behind his brother Mark now as they go up towards the Dipper and the Bullet for the first time, and it's Stuart Maloney who got the best of the start. Having said that, he's got right there with him to his left as they go into the bank stresses for the first time. Sol Issouf, who's not going to let him make an escape, tries to get alongside going into the C/hairpin. Catch the flash of the brakes as the light just starts to fade a little bit. Sol stuck right there, light blue on the back of the Stuart Maloney car as they go down to the kink. And the hammer is everyone cleanly through that corner. Yes, they are David Simpson at the moment bringing up the tail end of the field. But having said that, he's not an awfully long way away from the men who are leading. Stuart Maloney across the line at the end of the first lap of 10 with an advantage of just 0.4 of a second. I have to say, rather less attrition than I had anticipated. Then I don't think the weather's quite done what was threatened. Stuart Maloney just a smidge quicker by a tenth on that 8th lap, so he's aware that there is a little more pressure coming from Sol, so clearly Stuart Maloney has it within his plan. He's got a little bit more to offer if it is necessary. Through the Dipper and the Bullet they go, on to the S's. It is the last lap. 25 points for a win, 18 for second place. These two drivers fast becoming the focus of the Suzuki Challenge Series SR3 Cup. The gap between them is 12. It will come down to 5 if they stay in the order they are in, which is unlikely to change as the checkered flag is taken by Stuart Maloney, winning by a margin of 0.479 seconds.
So Stuart Maloney takes back the 7 points surrendered to Sol Issouf in race 2, with Mark Maloney leading home brother Sean, Ryan Gonzalez and David Simpson. Issouf remains the SR3 Cup Championship leader now with a lead of only 8 points over Stuart Maloney, while Mark Maloney has consolidated his hold on third place, another 31 points behind. It's even closer in the Swift Cup, where new championship leader Barry Gale leads Trinidad and Tobago's Ryan Perot by just 4 points. Former leader Josh Reed has slipped to third, 24 points behind Perot, but there's still a long way to go.